Hello, lovelies. Welcome, welcome. It's good to be here today. I hope to talk about some things. So, this week, my husband and I were watching, I think it was Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show. Anyway, Pierce Brosnan was a guest on it. It was either Jimmy Fallon or it was Seth Meyers. And Pierce Brosnan was on the show. And while we were watching it, I was sitting there and I got this overlay of King Charles over Pierce Brosnan's face. And in that moment, I knew that Pierce Brosnan either has or will have a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. And I hope that, I'm a small channel, I'm fairly new, so I'm certain that nobody here knows Pierce Brosnan. If you're watching this in a later date, if anybody has connections to him, please tell him to talk to his either internist or GI doc or, any of those things. And this is easier to find when, I want to say with a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, but there's a special endoscopy that does pancreatic looking. So, all right, Crafto, I see your question. What type of questions can we ask you? You can ask anything. Let it fly. If you give me, is it a personal question for you? Is it if you kind of give me an idea of where you want to go with your question, I'll be glad to pull a deck of cards out for you. I tend to talk a lot about politics at start, but I'll go wherever you need to go. Hi, Chelsea. Hi, new subscriber. Welcome. You may ask whatever you want. This isn't Ask Me Anything. I'll pull cards for you. I'll tell you what I'm hearing from Spirit. And understand that, Spirit tends to take over. So whatever. Yeah. So while Crafto and Chelsea are maybe typing out their questions for me, I do want to talk about something else. And this is, like I said, I talk a lot about politics here, but I cover any topic you want in an Ask Me Anything. That's the lovely part of this channel. Okay, so Chelsea, you just popped your question in. Have an interview with MDS Monday. Will I be hired there? I'm getting two messages for you. One is you won't want the job. And while right now you're really excited about it and you really hope that you get the job, what I'm hearing is that it's going to be far more demanding of you and will challenge your ethical beliefs in ways you're not comfortable with. Your ethical behaviors, your ethical expectations, like they're shady. Before you go into that interview, if you've got time this weekend, I want you to do some online reviews. I want you to look through online reviews of employees there. I get the very strong sense, and I do want to say this is entertainment purposes only. Everything's alleged. I'm reading, what Spirit is telling me. So what I'm hearing is that you really need to do your homework before you walk into that interview. And then when you walk into that interview, really pay attention to your feelings. Are there red flags that they're showing you? Because that's when, just pay attention to the questions. Ask them what a typical day looks like for the position you're applying for. Ask them what the big projects are. Ask them about speed of the work and delivery of items. So like the big projects, when do those have to be done? And how much time are you given for those kind of projects? Because sometimes projects are really, really big and you're given this much time, but you really need this much time. So it's really, these are really things for your own mental health and your physical health. Pay very close attention. Listen to your gut. And if anything is off, you'll know it. And there may be a much better opportunity for you right around the corner. Okay? All right. Hi, how are you? Hi, KCMR. What can Spirit tell me about the situation that is weighing me down? Well, let me pull some cards for you. I need to move something here. There we go. So I'm using Trish James' signature oracle. KCMR, the very first card that came up is challenge, difficult situation. The next one is you have to take some action to be able to move forward. And I'm guessing that your question has to do with what kind of action you should be taking, what kind of choices you should be making. Do you sit and just let it play out, or do you take some action? Whatever's happening is based on a disagreement. You got lots of, but there are opportunities with this. You've got some new options coming. And it's about finding your true self and your boundaries. And I'm really hearing strongly that you need to make very certain that you are caring for your own boundaries, that you are putting those in place, that you are strong in saying no to somebody who wants to push you further than you're willing to go. You need to do some research yourself, like dig in. I don't know if this is an online or talking with people who know about the situation. I feel like there's somebody involved in this that you're having this disagreement with, and I feel like it's male energy. And I feel like you're not sure. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I just told Chelsea, and that is pay attention to your gut instinct. You know the answer. Listen to that little inner voice because it is there for a reason. Let me see what else pops out of the deck. I've got to go with the flow. Go with the flow. And that is time to get away, time to walk away maybe. This one talks about travel, which you may be thinking about doing. But I feel like this means more of putting distance between you and the situation. I feel like this is a walk away moment. I feel like you are in the midst of saying, do I stay or do I go? And my strongest sense is that you go because it's about finding yourself, because you've lost yourself in whatever kind of challenge this is. And you're feeling very out of control. This one says, get control, take your power back. And that is really important. I feel like that is the extent of what is coming through from spirit for you. Crafto, these cards are Trish James, Trishe, James, Jaimes, signature oracle. And her website is trishjamesoracles.com. She's out of Australia. And yes, they are lovely. I love her cards. I have everything except for one deck that has been available on her website since I learned of her from Linda G about a year ago. And this is Hershey, by the way. He likes to come and visit during any of these, whether it's a recorded video or a live session. And I'll do my best to keep him from mooning y'all. Yeah, Crafto, thank you. He's quite the character. He's our grumpy old boy. So anyway, all right, Crafto, did I answer your question? And then KCMR, did I get your question answered? Awesome. Okay. Any other questions? So again, I'm going to really work hard to keep him from mooning y'all. Sir, what are you doing? No. What are you doing? Can we not? This is not lay down time. This is not be pet by mom time. Okay, you're down. You're done. So KCMR, not unless you go after it. Not unless you go after it. You're going to, and I think we talked about this last week. He's moved on. He has no intention of looking backwards. He has no intention of coming back to revisit. I know you won't want to hear this, but he gives me I feel like for him, he's very transactional. He gets in, he gets what he wants, and he gets out. And he doesn't care the mess that he leaves behind. And unless you go after him and force it, yeah, I think that's the only way you're going to have success in seeing that. So now the question is, will that be successful? Let's pull out the pendulum. This isn't okay. So my pendulum is very subtle, usually, and it is saying yes. But at the same time, my husband and I got a message, KCMR, will you get the money from the court filings that you did? It's saying yes. But again, backing up. My husband and I used the pendulum to ask, would we ever win the lottery? We were kind of playing around, and it said, yes, July. Guess what? July has come and gone, and we did not win the lottery.
Hopefully they didn't say what.
Yeah, they didn't say what year. Do you want to join?
Sure.
Bring your chair around. Okay. My husband's coming in. All right. Crafto, can you tell me something about public speaking? I get nervous and scared a bit. Right before my speech, sometimes the voice shakes. Of course it does. You get better with practice. 100%. You get better with practice. I am years old. And when I first started, I was really nervous. I would rub my fingers against my thumb, my fingernail against my thumb, and I would have blisters on my thumbs. Um, and it was just, that was where the nerves were. When you practice and practice and practice about the topic you want to present on, if, like, for instance, if you're in front of if you're in a conference or in a work environment, practice your presentation like 4 or 5 or even more times until you know that information frontwards, backwards, and you're just like, is the more solid you are with the content you're presenting, the more belief you have in your ability. And Spirit, I said, is there anything I can help you with? And Spirit said, a little drink beforehand. Not a lot, but it just, I got to tell you, when I was in university, my best test score was after I'd gone out and had a margarita. I aced that test, and I really struggled in that particular class. And it was just because I was a little more relaxed. And I'm not advocating anybody use alcohol for purposes that are anyway, I'll just not go there. Okay. Let's see. How can I practice? I can't find crowds every day. So yes, I can help you with that as well. Can you tell me how I can create the same kind of scenario in your room? Turn on a video, record yourself. You can get Zoom.us, I believe, for free. And you can record videos to Zoom, and you can watch yourself and catch yourself where you're stuttering, where you're using fill words. Toastmasters is a fabulous place. If you really want to get strong in presentations, Toastmasters is the place to go. And they have, I believe there's a cost to it, but I don't know what that is. They have opportunities for you to speak publicly, and then people that are there will critique you and help you grow to be a better presenter. What I started with was record yourself on Zoom and then watch those recordings. They show you, like I said, where you're using filler words, where you're and filler words are so I do it all the time. I know they're not great as part of public speaking. It's normal to have those. Toastmasters will help you clear those out and just be quiet, which can sometimes be uncomfortable, right? When you're in front of a room and you just stop, that's not what the audience is expecting. And yet it can be really powerful because it gives the audience a moment to absorb the message you just delivered. Did that help, Crafto? Okay. I'm glad that will help you. I think you'll find that for sure the Zoom, you can start, when you record yourself, you can start to see things in your own videos, in your own presentation styles, that type of thing. If it's the people that are making you nervous and not the presentation, meditating beforehand, being in, I know it comes with nerves. There's very little getting around that. Public speaking is one of the greatest fears that most people have. If you are asked to present to an audience, they already are there and appreciative of your knowledge and your time. And if this is for a class, think about the skills that you are building and you are learning. And value the critique that you get back, whether that be from your school, your peers in your class, or your instructor. Hi, Debbie Cox. Welcome and blessings to you as well. Thank you. Aw. Okay, Crafto, did I get that covered for you? Are you feeling a little more comfortable? Okay, I'm glad to hear it. All right. Something I wanted to talk about last week. So this is my husband.
Hello, everybody.
This is Pierre. I am Lynn. Anyway, last week he read a card and said that we would be seeing a decrease in wage offerings from companies. And I have to preface this whole statement with, he doesn't really think he's got many abilities. And yet the funny thing is as soon as he said that, 2 days later, Magical Mimi, who has a channel here called Magical Mimi, obviously, talked about seeing engineering jobs at GM, which is where she lives, being offered $20,000 to $30,000 less a year for starting pay. So
I know nothing.
He got it right. Right off the bat. Debbie, thank you. Yeah, we're very happy together. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, honey.
And that right there is the perfect marriage. Yes, dear. Whatever
happy
you
wife, happy life.
Whatever you say, my dear. We're really goofy together. We make an impression wherever we go. Perfect marriage does happy wife, happy life. Yeah. No marriage is perfect. Like, I don't, but yeah, we're very goofy. All right. So does anybody else have a question?
Through that.
It's only perfect how you make it, though. That's right. Yep. And we both, we're very connected. So interesting story. I had a chance to leave this body and go back to spirit in 2003. Also known as, oh my God, that was a major health event. And I knew at the time, I felt spirit there to take me home, but I knew at the time I wasn't ready to go. I had already met him, but he was married to somebody else, and that's a line I don't cross ever. And
same here.
Right. Yep. And so it turned out that when I said, no, I'm not ready to go home, that I now know I stayed because of him, because we were meant to be together in this lifetime. And that happened in 2007, was our very first date. So it's been an incredible blessing. incredible blessing. Yeah. So.
I got divorced before we.
Yeah. Yeah. That was done and over. I don't, like I said, I don't cross
Just
those
to be
lines.
precise.
I don't play those games. Not me. Nope. Thanks. Pass. Anyway, so last week I talked about some weather events that were coming up. I still am very strongly seeing a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico that does a lot of damage in Texas. Some damage in the other Gulf states, but then again, the Gulf side of Florida, northern end of Florida is probably going to get some damage as well. With Hurricane Erin, I said last week that there's going to be a hurricane that goes up the eastern coast of the United States, and there it is already. Timing is really hard to do for spirits because time for them, like they move so fast, and heaven isn't up there somewhere. It's right next to us. But they move at a different speed than we do. So we're much slower, and we have a clock on the wall and they don't. So
Debbie wants to know what kind of questions you can ask.
Anything you want. Anything you want. This is an ask me anything. I will be in my soulmate connect. I become one. Yeah. So, Debbie, do you have a question you want to share? I'd be glad to read for you. Can you tell me if my soulmate connection is a Pisces? Oh boy, that's a hard one. You want to read?
No.
You want to pull?
No, you do.
You want me to? Okay. So I struggle with the astrology part that a lot of other readers are really good at. So to see you say Pisces, no, what are you sorry for? No need to be sorry. It's all good. I got no problems with what you're asking me.
Find the answer anyway.
Yeah, I'll find an answer. It just may be a little bit of a curvy road to get there, but instead of the highway. We'll get there. Anyway, so I struggle with the Pisces part. I'm hearing no, and I think you already know that. I don't know if you've been here since. Can I predict the future too? Sometimes. But see, I don't do astrology, and there's a lot of other readers here, or a lot of other people here on YouTube who are incredible at the astrology part. Professional Aquarian, Cosmic Owl, Denise Knight, Divination, Afefe at Touch by Tarot. Those are the ones that come to mind who do a lot with astrology. But your question is your soulmate connection, if your soulmate connection is a Pisces? Soulmate personalities. Maybe. Hi, Diane. Welcome. Anyway, a lot of those people who do astrology here on YouTube, they come up with some incredible predictions. And they're reading the energy just like I am, only a different
level.
Not level per se, but just a different way. All right, let me see. The next question you asked was, can you tell me about my soulmate personalities? You got any cards in here that you want me to pull out for Debbie? This is why we want this one. So I feel like they're going to be in AI. And what did I do with the lid? I did that with the lid. I'm currently using the predictions deck by Trish James and the personal predictions deck also by Trish James. Pretty much everything I have on the table except for my basic tarot deck are Trish James Oracle cards. So the one that came out of this first deck, the predictions deck, is AI tech. So whoever is, they're into
Technology.
Yeah, they're very much into technology. I don't want to say that they're part of the architecture of AI, but maybe they do work with AI a bit. Let's see if we can get a better read for. Yes, they do. Look at that. We like those answers. Confirmation. Yay. What else can we get for Debbie? Tell me about my soulmate personalities. What do you got? Tell me about it.
That she's not expecting that. That is she's kind of pointing to one person, but the person that she will meet would be a completely different one.
Okay, so Debbie, one of the cards that came out was sorry, this is not. Let me see.
Pointing toward the window.
Hang on. There we go. Not as expected. This is one of the cards. My husband, did you want to say that a little louder
No,
so they
go
can? No, you do it, please.
Go ahead.
No.
I just told you. Go. You're talking. I'm not a public speaker.
Oh. Do you hear him? So it's not the person you're expecting it to be, or the situation is going to shift and change, and things are going to come up that you did not expect. You're going to need to release your expectations and let go of
Start over.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is that he just said start over, but I also have a card here, new beginnings. And then rest and relaxation. I'm feeling a great deal of burnout for you. And I feel like that burnout is based on the change that is constantly on your doorstep. And everybody expects you to clean up the mess because you're really capable of it. And as somebody who has walked that path a lot in my life, this is kind of advice from spirit and advice from me as well. And that is sometimes you have to let other people clean up their chaos, their own chaos, because it's part of their growth. You already know how to do it, but it gives them an opportunity to learn for themselves and to stand on their own 2 feet and to work through the problem, as opposed to relying on other people to figure it out for them all the time. Oh my gosh. Yeah, those technical ones. Crafto, I'm seeing your questions here. Diamond, I see your question as well, and you're above Crafto. I'm coming back to you, okay? All right. So Crafto, I'm really interested in chip manufacturing and microelectronic. So can you tell me how to read those big books? Like there's so many from college. And the semesters are too short to go deep into.
There are no way, in any way,
No way
between
around
what you
through.
study and what you find in the workplace after,
Night and day different.
night and day.
Yeah.
I studied industrial electronics.
What it doesn't matter it doesn't
No.
matter your field of study. You get the foundation in school, the foundation. That's what you should take away from those technical books. And let me tell you, I understand so much. And I laugh about that, but I can't tell you why I'm laughing about that. But if you knew, you'd be laughing too. Because this is very ironic. I tend to write a lot of technical stuff. And yes, it is very dry. It's very hard to get through unless you have real interest in it, real love for that content. And even so, it's still really dry and hard to read. I like to do a YouTube video on the subjects that are really hard for me. Somebody's out there explaining it for you. You don't have to read everything. You can also, if your book has an audio option, you can hear it read to you. If it's an online class, a lot of the online classes have the books that have that audio option. So look and see if that is something that's available to you, because I feel like, oh, interesting. Do you have learning accommodations? And you don't have to answer me. If you do not have learning accommodations, oh my gosh, I'm going to get technical with you, Crafto. I'm sorry. So there are, I think, 5 or 7 different styles of learning. There's the type that can read and understand. There's the type that can hear it and understand. There's the type that can see it and understand. There are kinetic, which means doing. I don't remember all the different types, but and then
Present.
there's the type that you need multiples. So if you can get the audio option for your book, do so. If you have learning accommodations, speak with your accommodation specialist or advisor or whatever to see if like that is can be part of your accommodations, if that's suitable for you. But if you don't have that, I love YouTube for those short explainer videos about any topic. There is somebody out there talking about the topic you need. You put your topic into the search bar, it will bring up a variety of videos for you. Yes, you might have to search through some of them, but then after you get through a few of them, you will find somebody who's really on top of it, and you know right away that they are really good. And most of those people will have playlists, and I'm telling you, it is so awesome to have people out there doing that kind of work. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to do those kind of videos. It takes a lot of prep work and practice, and then editing, and all of that goes into making high quality videos. And I struggle with that because I'm still kind of new at this. So the editing part is super fun. All right. Yeah, the technical ones are so dry. Okay, Diamond, let me get back to you. Was I wrong about Sean, how Sean felt about me? Did he really want our relationship? I think Sean believed he wanted that relationship or she wanted that relationship. Let me look at this. Um, but I think if you had gone into that relationship, it would have been fiery and chaotic and really damaging for both of you, but more so you than him. And I think you knew that and chose to be protective of yourself, which is very wise of you to do. So while it's very probable that that's what he believed he wanted, it's also best that it didn't happen right now. I feel like, maybe in another 5 years when there's some emotional growth, it may come back around as an opportunity and it may not. It may just, you may be passing ships in this lifetime. And that's okay. That's okay. You still connected. Okay. Did that answer your question? All right. Let me keep reading here. Debbie. That's what I've been feeling. Something or some things or someone I didn't expect. Yeah. Debbie, you've got new things coming to your life. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I'm telling you that caring and lovable um personality, it's like, you know how the lightning bugs are in the summertime? That empathic, caring, loving personality, I'm telling you, it sucks in every narcissist and user in the world. They are drawn to you like you're the lightning bug. And so you really need to be careful with your boundaries. Yeah, you really need to be careful with your boundaries and pay very close attention to the red flags. People tell you what they want from you. The thing about narcissists is that they can read people really fast. It takes them less than 5 minutes to get a really good glimpse, get a good read on who you are and what you need. And then they present that front. But once they've got you, that could be something like hiring you and you've left a previous job, or saying, I do in a relationship. And then click, the personality switches and you see the real them, but now you can't get out of it. So that's why I talk about red flags, listening to your gut, and making sure that you say no and you enforce that no. Because when you give too much of yourself away, there's nothing left for you. And you got to have some left for you. Okay? Debbie, I see your comment, but God says I need to be strong and tougher, and I have been standing in my power. You have so much power. You have no idea how much power you have. Oh gosh, it's making me emotional. Debbie, can I ask a question? Ask you what your age range is? Just like a decade. I don't need your exact age. Um, your typing is fine. I'm good. I got it. If there's something I don't understand, I'll ask for clarification. Okay, you're good. Um, Debbie, the reason I asked about your age range, I'm feeling like you're in the 25 to 35 age range. And if that's correct, I give you another 10 to 15 years. And oh my God, I don't know what you're going to be doing, but it's powerful. And you may not feel like it is, but everybody around you does. Okay. All right. Crafto, yes. Looking at all those big boys makes me laugh too. Like, how how am I going to read all that? And even if I did, how can I keep all of that in my tiny little brain? So, one thing I can tell you about education is that if you're in a degree program, they go over the most important concepts of your foundational knowledge repeatedly. And that helps move the information from short-term memory to long-term memory. So going over something again and again, and like if you're doing a class where you have the opportunity to take a quiz multiple times, take the quiz multiple times because you're seeing that information repeatedly, and that's just helping it move from short-term to long-term again. That is a trick that is really powerful. Okay. Debbie, okay, 40 to 50. All right. Yeah, I think by the time you hit 50, 55, you're gonna be, yeah, but I don't feel or look. Yeah, there you go. So 5 to 10 years, man. I believe your next 5 to 10 years. What I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. Wow. It feels like you're in a leadership position. Are you aligned with a nonprofit organization? Because I feel like you will be in a leadership position of a nonprofit organization or one that works with nonprofit organizations. Some of the bigger companies have positions of corporate giving where the person finds nonprofit organizations to work with, and the corporation then donates to those nonprofit organizations. And I feel like that is your niche. Either that or else leading a nonprofit organization. Either way, girl, you need to buy yourself some suits. Make them comfortable, but you need a few of them. What is it called with the compact wardrobe where you have like 10 or 15 pieces of clothing and you just interchange them? I see you doing a bit of traveling. I see you doing rubbing elbows with some really powerful people. Okay. Yes, lightning bugs. You're welcome, Diamond. Yes, lightning bugs sucking me in like I'm a leech, right? Right? Like they're the leech on you, sucking out your energy. Yep, I've been turning on my boundaries strong. Good for you. Starting at your again, your typing is fine. I think that was something that I addressed already. 40 to 50. Don't look your age. Don't feel or look your age. That's awesome. Hi, light blue. Welcome. And yes, you can ask anything. Debbie, I agree. Yeah, God does have good plans for you. Indeed. Indeed. Crafto, I'm not sure what you mean. So that means ultimately revision is everything. If I understand correctly, yes, that, you practice and practice and practice and practice makes perfect. And there is no such thing as perfection, but practice makes you better. And refining makes you better. Repairing your work and understanding how that work influences other people's work. So team playing. If you are in college and you have a writing center available to you, I strongly suggest you use that. A lot of writing centers will have somebody there who will do a review of written work and give you feedback on that to help you make those revisions to improve the product that you're submitting for grades. And I cannot begin to tell you how valuable a writing center is. So, all right. Light blue, do you see my relationship with Anselin deepening in the future? I am Yusra. Let me check. This one or this one? What do you think?
Let me read.
She wants to know if the relationship with Anselin will deepen in the future. Which deck do you think? I feel like this one. I feel like this one.
Either that one or this one.
So this one is for mediumship, for spirit side. Pull it out. We'll check. So I'm going to, Debbie, we are all God. God made us. We are all part of God. And for those of you who are outside the Christian religion, so I'm a big believer that no matter the face that we put on that higher spirit, whether it be male or female, God, Allah, Muhammad, Buddha, it doesn't matter. It all goes to one source. And that one source is part of who we all are. And so every single day that you are here and every single moment you are in spirit form, we are all part of God, God energy, God spirit, all of us. Yeah. Hi, Tanmay Joshi. Pick a card out of there that says yes to you. So light blue, I'm getting that the relationship that you have with Anselin is a spirit, that there is like there's a soul bond as part of your relationship. Sorry, here we go. And yet I feel like I'm getting confrontational and conflict and challenges. But you find a lot of that irresistible. Is he somebody that you met from your career? I'm not getting a yes from that. I'm getting a no. And I feel like that is more for your protection. Gosh. So today's readings seem to be all about the narcissistic behaviors. I'm feeling like in your own life you need to be protective of your boundaries. And Firemen in the Revolution. If I know, I'd be playing them too. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? So, light blue, if you pursue this further, it's the words on this card is endurance, a lot to go through, and a difficult journey. I think if you go into a deeper relationship with Anselin, that you are going to be consumed by their energy and you will lose you. And it will be a really hard journey for you. I know that's not what you want to hear. So I hope you will take steps to, like, we all have what are called red flags and green flags. Red flags are those warning signs, those very subtle warning signs that say, this person is dangerous for me. Green flags are, the way they treat other people with respect and care and kindness, the way they manage their anger, how they communicate, those are green flags. So let me read what. Yeah, light blue. I can. So I've had quite a few narcissists in my life, and it comes down to recognizing those signs early on. Earlier, I was talking with Debbie, and I said, empaths and people who are very spiritual are like lightning bugs, and we attract narcissists. And then, and I didn't say this earlier to Debbie, but it's like, this is really cruel, and I'm sorry, but here in the U.S., when I was a kid, people would pull the lightning part off and rub it on their finger to make a ring out of it, and that's what they do. They steal your light. They steal your light so they can be bathed in it. Unfortunately, it leaves you empty. And so you have to look for those red flags and pay attention to them when they show up. The earlier you see them, the better off you are. Okay. I want to say thank you to both of you for your coming here and giving your precious time and life experience. Crafto, it is my joy to do that. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Light blue. Okay, if you were telling me that, probably true. Light blue, I say this at every video. I am this is an entertainment only, and I could be wrong. So I always advise you to listen to your inner voice and your gut feeling. That gut feeling will steer you right every single time. And when you refuse to listen to it every time, that's at least in my experience, every time I failed to listen to my gut, that's when I got in trouble. That's when I had a problem. Okay. Well, fireman, you're in the wrong place then.
I don't like him.
Mm-mm. All right, fireman, I'm not loving your energy, and I'm going to put you in time out because I'm not loving your energy. We're going to do a 10-minute, and if you come back and you do it again, you're gone. All right, so let's move on. Anybody else? What you got? Questions that you're just dying to know about? And if you all haven't just figured that out, I'm very protective. I'm very much a mama bear, and don't play bad in my pond, in my sandbox. Fire extinguisher. If that's what it takes. You're welcome, Light Blue. You're very welcome. My pleasure. All right. Anybody else have questions? Being protective is a number one priority in someone's life, especially from a mom. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. It really is. You know, that's, yep. You mess with my kid. You mess with my crowd. Nope. I'm really nice until I'm not. And there you have it, right? All right. Anybody else? You got any other questions? We're just over an hour. I'd be glad to keep going if you've got questions. Thank you, Deb. Light Blue, of course you can. Sure. I'll go a little longer. We'll take care of it. Sure. Oh, gosh. So Spirit doesn't do time well. And what do you got?
She will get married when everything will be ready for her to get married. There is no specific date.
So did you hear what my husband just said? That you'll get married when you are ready, when you are spiritually ready for it, but there's no specific date. Okay, I know. Right? Right, Crafto, I so agree. I didn't even realize an hour had passed. If that was a college lecture of an hour, an eternity would have passed by now. Oh, Crafto. Yep.
Some teachers make the lessons interesting. Most don't.
It's not that they don't try, though. It's not
Some
that they
do
don't.
not try.
Well, that's true. That's true. Sometimes the information is just so dry you can't make it interesting.
Exactly.
There's no getting around that. All right, Light Blue, you asked when will you get married? So I'm going to give you a shadow work. I'm gonna pull a shadow work oracle card for you, and this is a place. So, do you know what shadow work is? Did that yes just come up?
No.
Okay.
So is when you asked.
You've heard of it. Okay. All right.
The first yes is when you asked if she heard what I said.
Okay, got it. Shadow work is part of who you are, and part of what triggers you, but also like the parts of you that are buried that need to come out, that you need to face. For a lot of people, trauma is a big thing that they have to deal with.
No.
Right? I know. I have 2 cards for you. One is deception, and the other one is control issues. So, deception says a slippery slope erodes trust, honesty fosters connection and authenticity. And so, it talks about needing to look at your own life where you've had issues with either your own or somebody else's integrity and transparency and trust. And that's a big one. Like if you, and I will say this, you asked about when you will get married. It's when your energy is right. When you are solid with who you are and you're not apologetic for who you are, not out to harm anybody else, being honest and authentically you, that is the energetic field that you need to be in to draw the right person for you. If you change yourself to be what somebody else wants, that will fail every single time. If you are authentically who you are, that will draw you the right person to you. I was in my 40s when he and I got married, and it took me a long time to get through my own crap, my own trauma, my own shadow work to get to a place where I was okay with who I am, knowing that I'm a really good person, that I'm kind to others, that I'm protective of others. To draw the person who was right for me to my life. I did not expect to get married. In fact, when I graduated from university, I took 40 people on a riverboat cruise as my graduation party. And by riverboat cruise, I mean river cruise, not like ocean cruise. It was like a 1-day, 4-hour thing. It was not a big cruise. But I paid for people to go on that dinner cruise because I didn't ever plan to get married. And I had that money saved up. I'm sorry for the bounce. I had that money saved up, and I was already well into my 30s. So expecting marriage and expecting a partnership, that by that point in my life, I was like, yeah, no, not going to happen. And so I did something for me, something that really fed my soul and made me feel amazing and cherished and worshiped by my loved ones. And then I got married.
And I wasn't part of the 40s.
Right. Yeah. He wasn't part of the 40. I didn't know him then. I met him after I graduated. All right. So, Light blue, the other one that I have for you is control issues. Let me hold that up a little bit for you. And it says, fear of losing power or false security leads to vulnerability. And it's asking you to release your need to control things, to trust that even when life feels like it's not going your way, that spirit will take you where you need to be. But also empowerment. How can you empower yourself to take actions that are good for you, that are right for you? If you feel comfortable, can I ask your age?
Very comfortable. I'm 61.
And I'm 59. I'll be 60 in January. Yes, teachers on YouTube do make it interesting, but surely not the ones in my college. You're kind of in a dry, like that's kind of how that's very technical career path, educational path. Yeah, that's it's not where I excelled. Not where I excelled at all. I excelled in science. And I love most sciences, not a fan of chemistry or organic chemistry. Don't like them. Don't like them at all.
I do.
He does. He gets my share. All right. Anything else? I hate chemistry too. Yep. It's like there's, I don't know who came up with it, but I think they had some. Okay, light blue. The guidance resonates, releasing control and being authentic. Good, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. This has been awesome, you guys. Thank you for being here today. I've really enjoyed these conversations. I have a big smile on my face. So does he. Yeah. Does anybody else have anything else? Give you a moment here to type in the box if you do. Okay. Nobody has said anything else. I wish you all the best of Saturdays. If you are looking for live readings today, I know that Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium, and Afefe Tahimba from Touched by Tarot are doing a live this afternoon. So go find them and listen. I'm going to guess that it's going to be a lot of political talk, if that is your thing. And they're both incredible readers, incredible psychics, and there are a lot of us here on YouTube.
Yep.
And I am so glad to spend time with you all today. Thank you for coming and joining, and making us smile, having a great time. I hope you enjoyed the day as well. Thank you all. I'm going to end the live stream here. I wish you the greatest weekend. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care. Thanks. Keep laughing. I'll try. Like I said,
Always.
We've got we're goofy. And invariably.
Check.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell you one really quick funny. We were at the grocery store and we were at the deli counter and picking out what we were going to have for dinner that night. And I turned to him and I said, I need to go to the restroom. And I had on clog shoes. And so as I was getting ready to step backwards, he moved his foot forward and stepped on the toe of my shoe to hold it in place while I stepped out of the shoe. And
I didn't do it on
he
purpose.
didn't. Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at that face. That should tell you he did it on purpose. And so I'm laughing I'm almost bent over laughing, tears coming down my face. And there's another guy standing there. So I go to the bathroom because, of course, now I'm laughing and I got to go to the bathroom. And if you're female in this room, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I come back and the other guy's like, okay, what was a joke? And I'm like, it wasn't a joke. It was him. And he looked at us like, y'all
You guys are
weird. I'm like, yeah, we really are. We're just goofy. And we have a lot of fun with it. All right. That's everything. Y'all, thanks. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.